Hey there, friends. So I'm back. In the last two videos, we talked about some concepts around time and energy management. And in this video, my plan is to contradict everything I said in the last two videos, sort of. Not really. But in some ways I will, because time and energy management and stacking your life in a lot of ways can be about efficiency and prioritizing activities and these really kind of masculine ways of showing up in the world, which is important. This is how we take action and get things done. What I want to bring in today has to do with yoga and Ayurveda and some of the more subtle feminine aspects of how we can take care of ourselves. And when we combine those qualities, right, the efficiency, the management, the action, and the subtle receiving, slowing down, taking care, that's where the magic can really come in. So a lot of people, when I talk to them about yoga, if they're new to yoga, brand new to yoga, or maybe haven't even tried it, but they're kind of curious, they will tell me that they think yoga is about stretching. Or maybe they think yoga is about like a mindfulness-based fitness activity. Or maybe they think that yoga is about this kind of trendy spiritual practice that has something to do with taking lots of Instagram photos and posting them. And people who have heard of Ayurveda, but they haven't really tried it on and lived it themselves, they will tell me that they have some kind of story going on in their head that Ayurveda is about being really strict with food and lifestyle. So all those belief systems and belief ideas, they're all valid, and they all are part of what someone is welcome to believe about yoga and Ayurveda. There's so much more, so much more. And in my opinion, at the root, like below all those beliefs, is that yoga and Ayurveda provide us with an amazing opportunity to slow down, to pay attention, and to have tools for studying ourselves, so for being self-reflective, for noticing how we're showing up in the world, and creating enough space to shift and change that if we so desire. Now, at the risk of being dramatic here, we are at a crucial time in our culture where we desperately need some tools for slowing down and reorienting the overwhelm and the fast pace and the busy culture that has really run rampant. And with that slowing down, we open ourselves up to taking better care of our bodies, better care of our minds, better care of our spirit, our sense of self, which also leads to taking better care of each other. So it's not just about self-care, it really is about we care. It's about all of us. And I want to say too that I know that not everybody has the privilege of slowing down and looking at overwhelm as something that they can work with and they can change. Not everybody has the time and space or resources to be able to ask the question, how do I balance my relationship between work, my responsibilities, my health and my stress reduction. Right? Not everybody has that opportunity. But my sense is, my assumption is that you are someone who does. You know, if you're here, if you already have an interest in yoga, if you have, if you're taking this time and interest to look into this video series, you do. You have that potential to reorient, to learn to juggle things a little bit differently so that you can create more ease and flow in your life. And the really cool thing about that is that when you create more ease and flow in your life, it's like turning around and opening up the door of potential for the other people who are around you, who get to witness you. And some of those people might be your children, your parents even, your family members, people who really mean a lot to you. So again, there's that we care thing. It's not just about you, it's also about who you interact with and how your actions impact them. So as you might be able to hear from the way I passionately speak about all of this, from where I sit, I know that yoga and Ayurveda have some really incredible tools to offer up to this day and age. They truly have the ability to teach us practical, everyday skills, like get your hands dirty, experience it, go through it, skills that help us enjoy the moment, enjoy our own journey, and really discover what matters the most in this one precious life. So, all right, here, diving into today's lesson, I want to show you a beautifully simple way to use Ayurveda and yoga in order to become more intentional about your choices. This particular tool is all about the seasonal changes in nature. So I'm talking about the changes from spring to summer, from summer to fall, and from fall to winter, and from winter back into spring. Each one of the seasons has certain qualities about it, and we use the 5 elements to help to get a feel, a tangible feel for what those qualities are. So for instance, spring has the elements, an excess of the elements of water and earth. And with all that water and earth is an incredible potential for growth and possibility. And there's also some stagnation, some heaviness, right? Spring is like potential wanting to happen, but maybe not fully happening. So those same qualities show up in our body. And it might show up like literally feeling bloated and retaining water. It might show up like with a heaviness towards life, a lack of inspiration to get out of bed and get rolling in the morning, and maybe even depression. You know, it can go to that extreme. Then as we roll into summer, where there's a lot of heat and a lot of movement, and the days are really long, as people we can get attracted to that and like burn the candle at both ends, go, 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 stock up our schedule, bathe in the sun. Doing that leaves us at the end of the summer kind of crispy, the term burned out. Before we know it, we're burned out. Then take that quality and mix it with what we have going on in the fall, which is a lot of air, a lot of ether. Things are swirling and changing. So we've got hot and crispy and air and ether and so we have this ungrounded, brittle person who's overwhelmed trying to go into the holidays and get ready for winter, right? So you can see how each one of these seasons has its own quality, and they can all combine to create deeper and deeper layers of imbalance. So the thing is, though, nature provides this cue. Ayurveda tells us that at the change of each of these seasons, there's a really great opportunity to reset and realign. Not only is it opportunity, but it's actually something we very much need to do for our health, right? The idea is like empty the bucket of what was there in last season, clean the slate, and start fresh again. And if you don't, you're bringing that last season into the next season, picking up what's there, bringing it in again, right? So this is, Ayurveda talks about a really sequential pattern that leads up to disease. And disease always starts small and expands and expands and expands and expands. So when we can catch things when they are smaller and clean the slate, they don't get the opportunity to grow. The change of seasons, so back to this beautiful practice, it has really become my cue, my personal cue, to reset what isn't working, to realign with nature and with the potential for well-being in my body. And I do that through my food. I do it with my movement routines. I do it with my daily routines. This has become a ritual that is so rich and subtle and feminine and lovely, and I love it. You know, so it's really a pleasure to share it with you. Let me explain just a little bit more in an effort to help you like tap into this exercise a bit further. Ayurveda really shows us how to apply the opposite qualities with our food, exercise, and daily routines. So in spring, when we have this heaviness, this inertia that we are feeling, we want to bring in foods that are lighter, that are spicier. We want to bring in a lot of activity so that we can counter that inertia of staying still, right? So each season we apply the opposite, and that's how we create balance, how we clean the slate, how we empty the bucket from the last seasons. So you too can use the change in seasons as a cue to remember to freshen up your routines, to freshen up how you're participating with the game of life, and to remind yourself what it takes to really enjoy the ride. And if you want to dive further into this, if you want to dive further than what you've already done with the 2 videos, because with the 2 videos, you've already set intention, right? You've already slowed down and envisioned what's possible for you in terms of realigning with your joy. And but if you want to dive in a little bit further, get a little bit more personal, learn the concepts and embody them, then I would love to help. So you can get a hold of me, hit reply, sign up for my free consultation. We can get on the phone and dig into things a little bit more. I would love to help, right? It's my pleasure to be generous. When you ask for my help, you allow me to practice generosity. It's a beautiful thing, okay? So if you found all this helpful, these 3 videos, and maybe someone pops into your mind and you're like, oh, so-and-so could use this, go ahead and send it to them, share it. And it's a pleasure to be in service. Namaste.